Good
Good
morning.
morning, Professor. Yeah, good morning, Professor Atoum. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing today?
I'm good, good. How are you?
Good, very good, great.
Right.
We are
Thank
looking
you
for
for,
this.
yes.
We are looking for this collaboration, and we are looking for this conference. And I hope you have a good time yesterday in your presentations.
Right, that's wonderful. I hope for a future more collaboration with you. Right, so this is time for your presentation, but before we start, can I please introduce you? I will introduce you to our participants, if that's okay with you. Right, so everyone, here with us is already joining us, Professor Dr. Manar Atoum. She is now the editor-in-chief of Jordan Journal Biological Sciences, and she's currently working in the Faculty of Applied Health Sciences, Department of Medical Laboratory Sciences, the Hashemite University, Zarqa, Jordan. And she has been a reviewer at the number of journals, more than 10 journals, including the International Medical Case Reports Journal, and also American Journal of Molecular Biology, and also a reviewer at Jacobs Journal of Genetics. Up to now, she is the editorial board of Jacobs Journal of Genetics, and also the Dean of Scientific Research since September 27. She obtained her PhD from the University of Guelph, Canada, in molecular genetics in 1996. She achieved her full professorate in 2013 from the Hashemite University Department of Medical Laboratory Sciences, Zarqa, Jordan. It's very nice to have you today, Professor Atoum, with us. You will be given 60 minutes to talk about all of your materials that you are going to share, and we would like really pay attention to that because we believe that it will be very encouraging and enlightening. The committee has already made you a co-host, so you can navigate yourself through your own materials. You can also do the share screen, right? Okay, so any question before we start, Professor Atoum?
Thank you very much. I will start now because I have, I think,
right. Okay, the time's
a lot
yours.
of material. I will share my presentation and we will start. So we will have time for. Let me try. بدي شو اسمها writing avoid this one. Okay.
Yes.
Did you see the share screen?
Yes, all clear. We can see it clearly.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to be with you today to talk about writing good scientific paper. I am Manar Atoum. I am the editor-in-chief for Jordan Journal of Biological Sciences, and I am so glad to have part of our of your last conference articles published in our journals. Okay. Actually, Jordan Journal of Biological Sciences is a journal controlled by higher education at Jordan. It's also controlled by a team from Hashemite University. We have nearly 30 international reviewers from all over the world, and we have 6 editorial board. All of them are fully professors and unique persons in different disciplines of biology. Our journal was Scopus covered since 2014 until now, and we are looking to have them to be enrolled in Thomson Reuters, and we hope soon we will have it enrolled in Thomson Reuters. It has ISS number, and usually each article submitted to our team is peer reviewed by doubly blinded peer reviewed by 2 international reviewers, and sometimes 3 to 4 depending upon the article. We publish nearly 4 issues per year, and from the last 3 years we published 1 additional because we have a lot of journal articles submitted to our journal. It is free. Usually we publish 20 to 30 articles per issue, and we have additional issue for conferences, and usually we charge just about $300 to $400 just to be reviewed by international reviewers, and it's non-profit journal. We are not, because it's controlled by Higher Institute of Education, and we just charge the conference journals for to pay for the international reviewers. We are lucky to have it Scopus. It's a Q3 journal, and we're looking, and we hope we will, this year will be Q2 journal. The SJR for it in 2021. Actually, I was so happy when Roy contacted me for publishing a few journals from Indonesia, because we are looking for international collaboration. As you see, we are looking to increase our international collaboration, and also all of our articles are citable articles, and we are looking to increase the citable articles, because if we increase it, we will move from Q3 to Q2, and hopefully soon we will do the system. For me, I am a molecular biologist. I am graduated from Canada. My H index nearly 16. I published nearly 1,040 articles, citable articles, and I'm looking for more. That's why I hope in the future we will have more collaboration with the researchers from this conference, from Indonesia, Malaysia, Canada, Japan, Korea, all over the world, because this will increase the citable articles for us if we'll get more collaboration. Regarding this part, we will talk about how to write a good scientific article. What's the structure of original article? I will talk about the language issues, because most of the articles that I receive, they have a lot of language issues, and sometimes we reject articles just because of language issues, and we will have a few discussion. And the second part will be, we will discuss some of the articles that were submitted from the first International Conference of Bioenergy and Environmentally Sustainable Agriculture Technology to our journal. Before I start, I will discuss 21 suggestions how to write good scientific articles. The first thing is to know what's your audience. Our audience are biologists, so when we will write an article, it should be oriented to our audience, which are biologists. We are not, our professors not with us, so we have to do rigid, good basic and grammar and spelling. When we start our writing, we should make nice, neat draft. It should not be upside down. It should be neat. It will make the next step easier for us, and it should be according to the journal's style. We should avoid abusing word forms. We should make it simple, clear, up to the point, and we should use it few words as we could, because the articles should be small but up to the point, and we should organize our ideas and writing. All of us, not native speakers, not native English speakers, but we can make it. We should put it not cut out. We should cut it, which make it clear up to the point, but we should not remove any of the critical ideas that we want to explain to our audience. We should think so hard about the structure of a paragraph. Each paragraph, before we write it, we should know what we will write in it. And we should pay a lot of attention to the tenses, and I will discuss a little bit about this point. The captions should be for tables and figures. It should be clear, up to the point. It should be short, not too long, because we will lose attention if it will become too much. When we decide the references, we should focus on the ideas, not the persons, because I need the idea, not the author. And you should tell us what you want, not talk a lot, because sometimes the figure is enough to tell what you want in a very short way. We should write about our tables, and the statistics should be clear, and we should focus in the hypothesis, not on the statistics. What is our hypothesis? We should focus on it, not on the number of the numbers of statistics of the team. We should develop a good, clear, up to the point strategy for our discussion, because I think the discussion is the hardest part of the article, and it is very, very important to have good structured discussion. The introduction and the conclusion, I think it's the hardest part. We should spend a lot of time on them, because when we prepare for writing, if we write a good introduction, it helps us in the discussion, and also it helps us in conclusion. If we have many, usually products have many results, so we should break up the large project and the larger and reorganize them and into a neat, clear way. One of the things that I face in the articles that are submitted to our journal, they lost flow, writing flow, no writing flow. So we should make it smooth writing, so that we will transfer from one idea to another idea smoothly. That make things easier for me and for the reviewers to accept the article. Use word processors effectively, and we should back up our work continuously. We should take care of the editorial comments seriously, because if we take it seriously, it makes it easier to be published and faster. One last style suggestion is limit the prepositional phrases. Most of the authors, when they starting writing the sample, they put the in one paragraph more than 20 times, which makes things very bad. So we should take care of these notes to make the things easier for publishing and faster publishing the article. Now, I should talk about the structure of journal article. I will talk just about the original article. I will not talk about a review article or editorial or commentary article. It should be structured into a few parts. The first part is the introduction, which mainly it will be the literature. Second part will be material and method. The third part will be the results, which contains the figures and tables. Then the discussion, and we should be so critical in choosing the journal, because sometimes you think your work deserves, for example, Q4 article. Actually, you can publish it in Q3 or Q2 article. And we should be so critical with so careful with writing the first draft. The main idea of this, the scientific area, the main aim it should be well-written scientific paper, and it should be, we should explain our experimental design, and we should explain our results in a very professional way, in a very neat way, so that it will be accepted quickly. Scientific paper are written in, should be written in a clear and concise style. I got some a few articles for publishing, some of them 50 papers. So I think I was rejected as soon as I got it, because it should be clear and concise. This is not a thesis, it is an article. I prefer to be, for example, 10 to 20 papers. It's more than enough to explain our experimental design or our results. In our article, we should, before we start writing, we should sit and think what we want to inform our audience. What is the issue that I want to our audience, for me to know it from this article. The second thing I want to say about English. In good English is very critical. In scientific writing, we should be concise. We should be up to the point. We should be accurate. We should be precise in selecting our words. All of us, English is not our native language, so we need to do proofreading by a native speaker. This may be helpful, very helpful, so helpful for us. And I will concentrate again and again about clear and concise and up to the point English. For example, I will give you one of the abstract that is submitted to my journal, to our journal. I think it's now. This study was conducted to identify popular bacterial pathogens and their antibiotic susceptibility, which will he was and will and present perfect, past perfect, continue present. So I refuse it because I couldn't understand it. Even the abstract, I couldn't understand it. So my message was, thank you for your interest in our journal. Your manuscript needs extensive language editing, and we cannot handle it. Really, we cannot handle it because I have to rewrite it again. So we should take care of our abstract and of our language. I will start with the title. The title is very important because if I have a good title, it makes things easier for the reviewers, for the editors, for editorial board to make the story short. So we have three types of articles. Titles. One title is indicative title, which indicate the subject or matter of a paper with no results. So, for example, one of the title, influence of drought stress on physiological trait of a cross or crab variant. This is one title. The other type of title, which I prefer, informative titles, which give an indication of the results that you get it. So it makes it more easy for the audience to know what you want. For example, one of the title, neuroprotective efficiency of saline against paraquat-induced neurotoxicity in Drosophila melanogaster. So we know what he wants and we know what he achieved. The last type of title, which I hate and I don't prefer, for example, is superoxide dismutase affect aging in Drosophila melanogaster. This is very bad title, so I prefer to be informative or indicative titles, but informative is more professional. Let us talk briefly about the structure, and I hope everybody of you can take this link and you can read an article about the STROP guidelines, how to write a great article, give you recommendations, how to make it easy to write it and will be easily accepted. Let's start with the abstract. For us, and for most of the articles, they prefer structures, design abstract, which means that you should put 2 lines for background, 2 lines for method, 2 lines for results, 2 lines for discussion, and 2 lines for conclusion. Nearly most of articles, they ask you not more than 200 to 300 words per abstract. So the abstract is very important because most of us read the abstract before we read the article. If it's great or good, we will go ahead. If it's not bad, we will not read the article or we will not cite the article. So in the abstract, we should provide an informative and balanced summary of what was done and what was, and please take care of what you want to tell your audience in the abstract in a very concise, professional way. We should write the abstract neatly, carefully, succinctly. So we have selected clear, up to the point words. For me, I prefer the author to write the abstract once he finished the whole article, because once you finish the whole article, you can put an abstract in a very professional, high standard way. For example, I will give you one of the articles that was submitted to our journal. We rejected because this is the abstract, but look what he talked about it's not a structure. He doesn't talk about background, material and method, results or discussion or conclusion. And he said that the result indicate an increase in fish polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon concentration in the spring season as a result of increased fishing activities using all boats and ships. You can understand nothing, increase and decrease. He doesn't give numbers, he doesn't give statistical analysis, he doesn't give methodology, he doesn't give conclusion. So I have to reject it before even I read it, because it's not structured and it's general. Let's move to the introduction. The introduction, we should in the introduction know why is this a study of scientific interest and what is your objective. It's very important to cover these 2 points: why this study is important and what's the objective. And in the introduction, we should discuss the previously published studies. We should what others wrote, and it should be updated. Most of the introduction I got from 1980 and 1970 and 1990. If the introduction is not updated, I have to reject the article because I have to rewrite the introduction again because it's not updated. So I have to move from general information then to be specific, and I should emphasize on others what they work and should emphasize on the others' work at a specific contribution that is related to my topic. The last part of the introduction, it should be the objective or the hypothesis of your study, and it should make good, smooth, nice transition to the material and method. So we should cover the objective, we should cover the others' work, but in a very smooth, specific, updated way, because most of them they have copy and paste from other articles, and this doesn't make sense. So we have to reject it. Then I will move to the material and method part. In the material and method part, I should describe the setting, the location, the dates, the periods, the exposure, the follow-up, the data collection in very clear, concise way. I should also take each variable that I'm interested in, and I should tell where's the source of the data I got, and then I should put details on the method and assessment of my method. Measurement is very important. We should describe the compatibility of assessment methods clearly, concisely. If there is more than one group or one, for example, if I have 10 groups, I should describe each group or each polymorphism or each test alone in a clear, precise way. If I have any bias information, for example, sometimes you will get to, if you collect data, clinical data, or other data, you can go get some bias. You should describe it and address the source of this bias. Sample size is very important. You should know sample size. Some of the articles you can publish an article in 30, 40. Your sample size will be 30, 40 samples, and some of them you need 1,000 to get the results. This depends on your article, and we have a lot of formulas that we can calculate the sample size according to your study. We should explain in detail the quantitative variables, and we should analyze them carefully, and we should describe it statistically. Most of the articles that's submitted to our journals, they just take it, they calculate the frequency and they just submit it. It's not acceptable because you have to do a statistical test, for example, by SPSS or other tests. And there is a lot of programs available, even free online, that you can discuss whatever you want to calculate or to analyze in a very simple, easy way. A lot of our research in journal, they hire statisticians, but I don't prefer that because the statisticians send you the analysis data without knowing their what you are working, if data are significant or not. In the material and method part, we should be narrative of the steps of our experiment without list of instruction. Don't give instruction because you are writing an article. You don't want to list an instruction to others. Just write the steps that you took in your experiment. Most of the authors, they forget to mention the control or to address the control, and this is very bad. You cannot get data, for example, for an experiment or an enzymic quantitation without knowing the control, how you control it, how you analyze it, how you do statistic analysis for it without control. Then we should be so careful about the information that we need to cite in our material and method. You don't have to say, okay, this is from our lab manual. This is, it's not acceptable. We cannot cite our lab manual. We should write it clearly, up to the point, concisely, full information, so that it makes it easy for others if they want to repeat your work. Most of the professional articles, they ask the raw data or supplementary report for experimentally details, and you can add it. For example, this is one of the articles that we ask for internal structure of circulatory parts. He added the supplementary part in this figure, and he explained all the details. Now I will move to the result part. We should, this is very, for me, this is very critical. This is very important. This is the where I start. If I want to start our article, I will start from results. I organize my results because you should know what you want from your results. And sometimes I made this table, then I make it to move it to a figure, then I do this statistical analysis, then I try. So to start, I prefer to make very clear results, up to the point, concise tables, figures. Then we will start there. We should present the results of the experiment, and we should not interpret anything in the results. Just present the results. The trick of writing a very good paper, if you give it to two persons, one is so smart, he who knows what he will include and he exclude, and the other he put all the data. You should be very, very professional in selection, what you want to include and what you want to exclude. Once we know what we want to include and exclude, we will move to summarize our data in tables and figures, and we will present our table. I prefer to present the tables in all data in tables, unless there is visual information gained from the figure. So because the tables, you will structure the results in a very professional way. You can add the data, you can add the results of statistical analysis, but sometimes we need to make visual information, so we make it in a figure. One of the points that I should concentrate, the table's legend should be above the table, while the figures below the figure. So most of the authors, they make it upside down. And tables that include the results of statistical analysis, we should provide complete about how we get, for example, if we calculate t-value, p-value, confidence interval, odd ratio, we should provide complete information about these nodes. This is one of the figures. If I make a figure like this, this figure for polycythemia improvement, if we have a drug, if there's improvement, it will be in orange. If there's improvement, it will be in blue. So these figures, I think, informative and indicative, and clearly we can know that we can get an improvement. Sometimes we have a lot of data. If we have a lot of data, if you structure the figure in a very neat, clean way, you can get a result easily. For example, this is one of the articles that represent their data in this way, and you can easily know the safety, immunogenicity of adenovirus vector against COVID vaccine. And we can easily know what we are looking for. For example, we're comparing days, we could compare test of vaccination, the time of vaccination. So sometimes we can make good, clear, indicative, informative figures. Now I will move to the most important part, which is the discussion. We should hold discussions just right, what's the significance of your results? This is the audience want to know. What's the significance of your results in the discussion section? We should cite the tables and figures without telling the details of how we calculate them. This is not in the discussion part, and we should refer to the figure or the table smoothly. One of the points I want to recommend for all authors, don't use too much variables in one figure, because we will lose the significance of our figure. In the figures, we should summarize the results with reference to the study objective. We, in the discussion part, go see what's your objective, then summarize your results according to your objective. One of the things that I recommend, according to Stroop also, recommend authors to make things smooth and easy and professional. We should add these parts: limitation, interpretation, generalizability, funding, limitation of the study, and future. So if you have limitation or bias, you should tell us about it. If you want to interrupt your results according to your objective, you should summarize it in the discussion. You should discuss what general results you want audience to know. You should write from where you got the fund. You should limit your conclusion to what you actually have. Don't put conclusion without making sure that you are 100% sure about this is my actual results. One of the things for others who will read your article, they prefer to look for what you suggest for them in the future, for research, for method, for explanation, for publishing, and of these issues. The last part is the citation. Each paper, each journal have its own citation, but most of the journals listed and numbered citation according to the sequential appearance in the text. One of the points, you should have in original paper at least 20 to 30 reference papers, and they should be updated and the new references, because if it's not updated, your work will be out of date. Just give me 1 second to have water. Okay. Now I will discuss a few points about tips of scientific writing. One of the important things that I have to address is proofreading. Any article, if I find mistakes, I will reject it, because it should be a proofreading read by the author, and it's his responsibility. One of the things, the comments, we should avoid abbreviation. For example, try to write it the full word. Exception for abbreviation, for example, if we want to talk about DNA, ATP, centigrade, gram, centimeter, we can use these abbreviations. Never use contraction. Didn't, cannot, wouldn't. We should not, we should write did not. Sometimes the word is a plural, and we cannot, for example, data. Data was or were. It's a plural were, so we have to write data were. And this is skipped by grammar programs or proofreading programs. So it's the responsibility of the author. Read and reread your reference. Most of the time.
Sutami dekat kampus 2 UMM. Bergermurder Malang.
I'm sorry, Professor.
Okay.
For all the participants, can you please mute your speaker? Leave your camera on, but please mute your speaker.
For me?
No. The participant, there was some distraction. Yeah, right. Okay, they already mute. You can go on. Apologies for this.
Okay, thank you. Actually, you will give me a chance to to have water. You should read and reread your references. Make sure that you don't cite references that not present in the references. So it's your responsibility to make sure that compatibility between the references and the citation throughout the article text. And you should review your writing before submitted to make it clean, neat, and precise. One of the critical things is the statistical analysis. The word in the statistical analysis significance means that you did the statistical analysis and you know P and T value. If it's P is less than 0.05, it's significance. If it's not less than 0.05, it's not significant, insignificant. So this word means that you did the statistical analysis. Don't use it unless you use statistical analysis. Proofread and correct your paper. Word processor, spell check, and grammar check, they are not error-free. Most of the time, they check it by it and by them, and we still have errors. So check it and make sure that there is no errors. One of the things that I have to recommend all the authors is plagiarism. Plagiarism internationally, it should be less than 15%, which means that you took from copy-paste from other authors. I recommend to run a program, Turnitin, or I authenticate a program to make sure that it's less than 15%, and it's a requirement for our journal and most of the international journals. Here's one of the reports that run by the author, and it will show you by I authenticate from where you took the phrases and how much you took from each author or each article, and the total number of the plagiarism. So it's unacceptable. So the author have to reconsider the part that he took it from this author and rewrite it by his own phrases. Tenses, it's very important, the tenses how to write this. I'm not native speakers in English, but I have to look for the rules and regulations in scientific writing. So usually background information and introduction in the present tense, if there is a fact. Usually we write it in literature in the past tenses. Unless we have facts, we use the present tenses. Okay, so writing literature in the past tenses, unless we have facts, we will write it in the present tenses. The same thing regarding methods and results. Usually we use the past tenses. Discussion and the conclusion, we use past tenses for our results. But if we want to refer to our tables or figures, we use the present tense. Also, it's very important to use national system for measuring. Here, this slide, this slide, I prefer all authors to look at this slide and to know where to go. There is a section describe experiments that were completed before the paper was written. So we need to use the past tenses. However, we should use the present tenses if we refer to the tables, figures, graphs, or something like that. In the discussion part, also we use the past tense. If we refer to tables, figures, or something like that, we should use the present tense. We may use the future tense in the discussion section if we are making recommendation. So we should use the future direction. Okay. So this is so we use the past tenses unless we refer to the tables or figures. We use the present tenses, and if we want to do anything for recommendation in the future, we will use the future tenses. Languages is very important. We should divide the text into sentences and paragraphs, and we should know what we want to tell the audience in each sentence and each paragraph. Sentence should have only one idea. You cannot put 10 ideas in one sentence. We should use familiar, precise, clear words. We should avoid misuse and emotional words like, for example, sounds good, sounds correct, sounds improved, sounds superior. And we should take care of superlatives. Don't, for example, don't use the word fantastic. It's not for scientific writing. And don't overuse some of the articles sent to me. They have in each paragraph 20 them. So try to avoid the repetition of the end part is references. Now it's so easy. I think most of your authors have the end note, so you can manage your references by the end note. And the last part, I want to concentrate. I prefer each author before the references start part at the statement. The statements contain these sections: acknowledgement to whom you want to say thank you, statement of ethics. You should make sure that you have ethical approval for your work. You should make sure that there is no conflict interest between the authors. You should mention the funding source. You should write the author's contribution, and sometimes you can write a part about data availability. Most of the articles ask you to write a copyright form, so that make sure that this article do not send to another place. It should be sent to one publication article only, and this is the copyright. I think most of most of you that you sent the articles to our journal have this signed this copyright form. I recommend authors to have softwares for graphic and software for statistics. We have a graphic software and statistical software. if the software for graphics can supply us with neat, clean figures, and for the statistics can provide us with professional statistical results, I think I recommend every author to have one of the graphic softwares and one of the statistics software. Now, I would like to thank everybody for their time, for listening to me, and I'm free to for you to for any question from you guys.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Atoum. That was very enlightening. Your explanation is very holistic and practical that we can apply step by step, starting from the title to the abstract up to the discussion and also references. We really appreciate that. Well, we also invite to all of the participants to prepare your questions.
I hope we will have more collaboration in the future with authors in Indonesia, in Vietnam, in Thailand, Malaysia, South Asia, and I am more than happy to have any collaboration with any of the authors in your conference. Actually, I divided the articles that were submitted into 3 groups. The first 5 articles that were submitted to our journal were accepted, number 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I'll not go in details for their titles or the name of the authors, but I will just show you some of the comments that were submitted to me by the reviewers. For example, Article 31, the abstract is not well written. The author should rewrite the abstract. The introduction not well written. The method is not well written and not clear. The experimental design not clear. The result not presented under an average or statistically not clear. The discussion not presented clearly, and the author does not discuss the raw material. But thank you, Roy and the author. They work on it and they upgrade it and they send it back to us and it were accepted. But just I want to mention some of the notes so that anybody will submit the article in the future will not have this problem. Article 32, poorly presented, no conclusion remarks, introduction very poor, statistical analysis not clear, authors presented result and discussion together, it should be separated, conclusion, poor conclusion, no specific finding in the conclusion. Also, we work on it, and it was great and accepted and upgraded. Paper 33, abstract, not clear. We should add the methodology. We have grammatical mistakes. English is poor. Titles of tables not clear. Illustrated poor. English is poor. References need to be checked. Nearly, we have the same comments, mainly in the language or statistical analysis, or they don't obey the rules of the journal instructions. 34, we need
Professor Atoum, excuse me. Could you please put your PowerPoint onto slideshow because it's too small? And
okay, sure.
Sorry for that.
Is it okay? Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's better.
Article 34 needs some improvement in English, needs an improvement in abstract, introduction not clear, methodology not clear, results, what we want to do with the result, because he doesn't explain, even write the results. Statistical analysis, he doesn't do any statistical analysis, and discussion need to be enriched. Nearly the same comments repeated every article. For example, 35, it should be rewritten. The first part, not clear, not logical, results not related to figures. There's no flow of ideas. Discussion is superficial. So this is the first part. Roy, actually, Dr. Roy worked so hard with the authors, and all these are accepted. This is the second section. In second section, which is Article 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 2 are accepted, 36 and 40, and the others 37, 38, 39 under review. 36, the abstract introduction was very long. Methodology, PCR not clear. Results, الأجاروز والPCR not clear, and references not according to journal requirement. 37, we need another international reviewer. Actually, in 37, I sent it to many reviewers, and we still need the response of the second reviewer. But as I said before, the abstract was poor and not satisfactory. 38, nearly it's finished actually. We have some comments. From these comments, the references are missing, and some of them are not present. And we need the final, after reviewing, we need the final approval from the last reviewer. And I hope it will be accepted within a few days. 39 is under correction, and we hope we will have it soon accepted. For example, there is no statistical significance of the results. The abstract need to be restructured. The results should be analyzed in a more professional way. The discussion chapter should be reduced because it's too long. And Article 40, introduction, it should be updated. Source, material and method, you should mention a source of the media and the source of the material that use it, chemicals. We should, the author should flow to the journal format style, and should the proofreading and double check the references and respect the format style, and it's respected. And thank you, thanks for Roy, because he worked so hard on it. And the last group is from 41 to 45. Actually, we replaced, because we rejected 2 articles, 43 and 45, and we replaced them with the new articles. But 41, 42, and 44, 41 under review, and methodology, lack of details, discussion and conclusion doesn't compare this finding with the previous literature, and references should be adjusted. 42, the abstract not clear, references introduction should be rewritten. Methodology need a lot of improvement. Results very poor. Discussion very poor. References need revision and need to update the references. 43 rejected and replaced. 44 we are looking for response from under review for the second reviewer, and 45 replaced. And thank you very much. These are all of our articles. Now I'm ready for anything you want to ask me about the articles or about any scientific writing.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor Atoum, for very detailed report. So especially to the participants, if you see your articles were displayed there and you have any question about it, so here Professor Atoum is joining us, so you can ask directly about your problems and how to resolve that. While waiting for the participants to ask, I got one question from Dr. Roy in the chat box. So, Professor Atoum, why doesn't the Jordan Journal of Biological Sciences do not use the DOI? So
actually, the main problem of the DOI, we should have acceptance from Crossref to enroll us with DOI. Actually, I contacted the Crossref and they enrolled me in their company. Then I have to send for the Higher Minister of Education to pay the fees. We are in this process, and we hope within 2 or 3 months we be enrolled in DOI number for each article, because I think the DOI is very important for us to move to ISI journals. And it makes it so easy for the author and for us, because we are an open access journal. I think the editorial board, the old editorial board, do not work on it before. So we are lucky that Dr. Roy asked us to add the DOI, and we did connections with a lot of connections with Crossref and our Minister of Health to have it soon. We hope within a few months, hopefully within 2 months, we will have DOI for each article. I think it will improve the standard of our art. And we are working on that.
Right, okay. So thank you for the complete answer. So Dr. Roy, I hope that will answer your question. And here's a second question from Dr. Damat. So Professor Atoum, before you explain that to make a conclusion, the author must be able to show, to include or exclude the information. So what do we mean by exclusion? One of the problems in the article you are reviewing is in English. So do you or your team provide any proofreading or English check service?
Actually, we don't do proofreading or check spelling. It's the responsibility of the author. But if we believe in the article and believe in the results, we can do it. If the standard of the article is good, we work on it personally, me and the editorial board, so that we will improve the grammar and the English. Regarding the excluding criteria that you ask about, for example, if we want to do a clinical survey about polycystic ovarian syndrome, for example, we should exclude those that they have diabetes. If we have a diabetic person, we should not collect sample from them. So we should record it. For example, if we do an experiment about gene polymorphism, if we have among Jordanian or among Indonesian, and we have, for example, Canadian, we should report it and we should exclude it, because gene polymorphism among these groups differ from the other group. So we should report it, because sometimes it will give biased data. So I hope I asked your question.
Right. Okay, so I hope that answered the question, Pak Damat. Right. Okay, so I saw Miss Tririni. Dr. Tririni, please say your question.
Okay, is it clear, my voice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Assalamualaikum, Prof. Manar. Thank you very much for the insightful presentation. That is really great, and also improve our knowledge how to prepare the manuscript. I'm one of the author that submitted in the first icon bit, and I saw that my manuscript is number 37. Seems
Okay.
like actually it's not a lot of not a lot of problem, but you mentioned there that you need international reviewer. So should we give some suggestion, or what do you think about it? Thank you.
If you have any international reviewer, you think not from Indonesia, not from your own country.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You can send. Actually, I send it to more than 30 reviewer. I get six of them. They promised to give review. Just one of the six gave me the comments. So I think it's a very good article, and it needs to be finished. A few comments from the first reviewer, but the main problem, the reviewers do not. They promise to give me comments, and I keep asking for the comments, and they don't. They refuse. I told you I am working on tracking more reviewers, and I think it's a good article. So we will get.
Thank you.
You can email me if you have. My email is Manar, MANAR @achu.org. You can take it my email from Roy, and you can send 6 reviewers you trust, so that we will have their comments. I think this is
okay. Thank you.
This is the main problem that I have. And the same thing I have with I think article number 44. I send it to more than 30 reviewers, and I have just the comments from one. And a lot of them approved to send me review comments, but they don't send it to me. Sorry for that. It's not
okay.
We will handle it soon. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Manar, for the prompt solution, and also Dr. Tririni. Now we have our next participant, Ms. Rista. Yeah, can you please elaborate your question?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ria. Ms. Manar, I'm Rista Angriani. My background is with technology.
Okay.
Okay. I have questions. If we have the limitation of analysis instrumental and also the funding, so what should we do? Should I push to get the sophisticated data, or just make a simple data but have the big novelty? Thank you.
Sorry, can you repeat what you mean by limitation? What's your exact limitation?
Okay. If we have the limitation of tools or instrumental and also the funding, so what should we do? Should I push to get the sophisticated data, or just make a simple data but have high novelty?
Actually, you need to make collaboration or connection or international collaboration with the authors, not from your own country. You can get it from. I like your work in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Japan. I like your work, and I think your universities, high standard universities. But for you, I recommend to make a collaboration with an author or professor that have high citation and internationally. This makes things easier for you. And this make, for example, if you want to do sequencing, if you want to do profiling, if you want to do editing, international professors make it easier for you. And this is the way that we did it in journal. Actually, for me, I have a team, we have a team of 6. Some of us good at writing, some of them good in editing, some of them good in clinical work, some of them good at sample collection. So we make it a team to make it an article. And sometimes it took from us 2 years or 3 years, which is okay for us. But at least you will have a good standard. And sometimes if you have if you supervise students internationally, master students or graduate students, it makes things easier for you. Sometimes I like to supervise students not from my own country, because you will get new ideas and you will get new people and you will have a new experience.
Okay, so for your explanation, I get in my opinion, that the sophisticated data is have a big opportunity to be accepted in the good journal, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, okay. I hope I understand what you get.
Yep.
For us, we have the same problem. If you get sophisticated results, you will get it in a Q1 journal right away. Our unique work, we will send it and get accepted in maybe 1 month in Q1 journals. But if we have medium or limited results, we find it's very hard. And you have to pay a lot, because most journals ask you about $2,000 to $3,000 to accept, to edit and accept your article, to get it in a Q3 journal or a Q4 journal sometimes, not Q1 even. A lot of journals, Q3 and Q4, ask you $2,000 or $3,000 to get it accepted, because your work is not unique, not original, what I mean.
Okay, right.
So you have to
I note for your suggestion. So that's why I deliver my question, because I have experienced my manuscript was rejected by some journal because the tool or the instrumental is outdated. So that's why I need your suggestion. So thank you so much, Ms. Manar.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
Right, okay. Thanks a lot, Professor Atoum, and also Ms. Vista. Any other question from the participants? You can directly raise your hand, and you can ask your question in Bahasa Indonesia, and we will help you to translate it into English. And you can also check the chat box to ask your questions there. If you saw the slides from Professor Atoum before, you can see some of the articles or things. And if you see yours there, maybe there is some issues or things that you want to discuss, she is here with us to talk about your articles directly, so you can resolve your problems. Questions? Right. While waiting for the other participants, is it okay if the moderator also asks question, Professor Atoum?
Okay, I'm looking for that.
All right. Okay, so sometimes in the journals, there are duplicates, like even in Q1. So I found some journals, 2 or 3 of them are written by the same authors, and sometimes they have similar titles, and both of them are published. So how ethical is that, and how can it be duplicates when it's a very high impacted journal? Yeah, we often find this kind of thing.
Yeah, we have this problem. For me, one of my articles, it was duplicated in Iran, but I can do nothing. I sent them, but they don't respond to me. You can do nothing, because I think this is the responsibility of editorial board, but sometimes we cannot control it, because if it's sent to another article and accepted, and the editor doesn't see it, usually we screen it by I authenticate, but sometimes if it's low standard journals, it translates journals from Russian, from Indonesian, from Iranian, and publish it. And for me, one of my articles, it was published in an Iranian journal. I think plagiarism was no more than 95%. But I can do nothing. I just, it's an ethical issue for the authors. How you accept to copy and other person's work. This is not unethical.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
we can actually I a lot of authors send me articles, and some of them were published. But
right.
when we screen or authenticate, we can sometimes we catch them, and I hope I will have the power to catch them. But sometimes, if it's low standard journal, you cannot catch them,
Right.
because it's not easy issue.
Yeah. It's the things that we cannot control, right? Okay. So I saw two of our participants already raise hand. Maybe Dr. Roy, you go first. Is that okay, Ms. Rista? Because you already asked your question before. So Dr. Roy, please, if you have question, ask directly to Professor Atoum.
Glad to meet you, Prof. I hope one day we meet in Indonesia.
Yeah, and Jordan also.
I only a sample question. Why doesn't GGPS use DOE?
DOE?
Yes.
DOI.
DOI, yes.
Yeah, actually, I send it to, we have to have the approval of Ministry of Health to get the DOI, and I'm waiting for their approval. Once they give me approval, usually because we are locked down nearly for now, Jordan, we have the third wave of COVID-19, and really the situation is bad. Most of our universities and ministries is closed. So we can do nothing. Just I need the approval, and I will go ahead because I have the approval from Crossref, which is the most difficult part. But I'm waiting for the Higher Ministry of Education approval, and I will go ahead for the DOI.
Okay.
And I, first of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Roy, for having me here. And really, I'm so happy and I am so glad participating in this conference. And really, I'm so happy that I know you. I learned from you a lot, although I am an editor. And I hope I have more collaboration in the future. And really, for example, the idea of DOI come from you, and collaboration come from you. And now I have maybe 3 conferences ask me for publishing their articles, but I prefer to be with you guys. Really, I like to work with you. I like to work with you. I would like to thank you for your patience, directions,
and we waiting for the continue agreement.
Okay. Excuse me, the second agreement, I send it to the Higher Ministry of Health to have the next, this conference article published. And I hope I have the acceptance soon, and we will start. We will start publishing the second group.
Thank you, Prof.
Your voice is not clear for me, sorry.
Okay, thank you, Professor Atoum, and also Dr. Roy. So here, Ms. Rista, can you please, elaborate your question? Ms. Rista, do you have another question?
I already delivered my question, Ms. Ria.
All right, so put down the hand.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Right,
okay, I will. Okay,
ask.
thank you.
Right, okay, so here a new it's not new participant, it's just new question. So please, Mr. Sony, elaborate your question.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ria. Good afternoon, Professor Manar Atoum. Thank you very much for your positive speaking. Okay, Professor Manar, actually I have a paper right now talk about fish immunity.
Okay.
Fish immunity, but the data is only limited in the blood, only in the blood and only the physical test of the fish after the exposure with the waste, water waste. please could you tell me about the required data in your journal? Is qualified or is not enough for your journal? Thank you very much.
Sometimes we have raw data, not enough, but if you present it in a professional way, the reviewers accept it and the editorial board. So please try to write the first draft. Try to do good statistics. Try to present good figures if you have. Try to do any correlation and send it. Sometimes, for me, one time I sent an article to a Q4 journal, not accepted. So I work on it for my master student, and it was accepted in a Q1 journal. So if you do a lot of effort on statistical analysis, figures, writing, editing, proofreading, language, sometimes it will be accepted right away. So please try to see the correlations, try to do analysis, try to put good figures and send it. If the reviewers accepted, you are more than welcome to submit it here.
Okay. Maybe can I show you maybe a little bit, and you can give me like maybe your opinion or suggestions for my paper?
Professor? Yeah, you can send it the first draft for me, and I can. You can contact Dr. Roy, and he will send it to me, and just remind me that it was discussed with you on the second. I will give it more credit, and I will speed it. And I will try.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, right. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Atoum, and also Mr. Soni. Now, here's another question. I guess this is going to be the last question because we're kind of run out of time. This is from Dr. Rahayu Relawati. So, Professor Atoum, does a collaborative authors become a criteria of good quality of manuscript? So, there are lots of authors from different institutions. Will it improve the value of a good manuscript?
Yeah, actually, usually international cooperation, it will help in editing. It will help you in having good figures, good data, statistical analysis, writing. I like it. I like it from scratch. I like to have collaboration from scratch. If you start with them working from scratch, you will have very high standard. Because I think each person is different, each person have identity, each person have his positivity, and each person is different and have different input in the article. So I like international, even for the citation of our journals. It's very good international cooperation. Even if you, for example, one day, I think to go to visit Indonesia, I will visit you guys, because I think it makes some kind of sympathy or sometimes connection between peers. You feel safe with these groups because you know them before.
Thank you very much, Professor Atoum. We are also looking forward to really meeting you in person.
Okay,
yes.
Me too. Thank you very much.
Right. Okay. Oh, here's another question. I guess, from the committee, we still have some more time. So in writing an international journal, if we use the translation application available or use the service of a translator, could you please recommend us what application that we can use if we cannot get the service of a translator?
Okay.
Is there any application?
My opinion, I don't believe in a translator. I prefer to write it even in poor language, then send it to native speaker. Translator, it's translating without knowing the meaning. Just translate word by word, so it will be weird. So I prefer, try to make it in English, because each paragraph should have an idea, and the translator doesn't know ideas, not just know words. So please, try and make it poor, but give it to native speaker. It makes it easier. For me, I'm not a native speaker in English, but I try to improve myself time by time, step by step, to make it at least acceptable. Then I give it to native speaker to help me in a grammar and proofreading and editing and something like that, if it's acceptable or not. So one time it will be, first time it will be very hard, second time it will be easier, third time you will be professional. I think all of us, we are not native speakers in English, but we are okay. We can do it. We can do it. But I don't believe in translating at all.
Right. Okay. Thank
For
you
me, but good luck for them if they can translate it.
Yeah. At least find a translator from the same department so that they can get your idea.
Yeah. One of his friends, his colleagues, his students, his professors in the departments, partner, he can upgrade it for him or for her.
Right. Okay. So if I may also suggest, like if any participants here or you, Professor Atoum, have already heard about the academic phrase bank. Yeah, the academic phrase bank is it's the 2014 edition. It has some clauses and also sentences that usually appears in a journal. It's in the form of the PDF, and it's kind of outline to make a manuscript. So they start from the introduction and also literature review and ends up to the discussion and also conclusion. So if we can find it, it's in the PDF by Morley. The title is Academic Phrase Bank. Maybe the committee can share it later to all of the participants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, there is a lot of places in the internet you can, but for me, I recommend them to start with the results, then introduction, then discussion, then conclusion and abstract. For me, because if you have neat results, you believe in your results, you can do, you can modify all the sections in the journal according to your results.
Right.
In a professional way.
Okay. Yes.
But I recommend to have, for example, a graphic software, statistics software, a grammar editing programs, language editing, proofreading program, identicated program, Turnitin program. This improve a lot the article. Even if you have poor English, you can improve your article.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot. That's very technical and practical that we can really apply how to write a manuscript and to be accepted successfully. And to conclude our meeting here, one of the participants asked, maybe you can share your materials and also your slides to the committee or maybe through Dr. Roy so they can distribute it to all participants. We can
I already said that to Dr. Roy.
All right. Okay. So yeah, we'll be waiting for the distributions there, right?
I prefer to share the first part. The second part, please don't share it because it's for the authors. For the authors. We just make it to explain what we have for publishing for the authors that they send their articles from Indonesia, from the last conference.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. So the one to distribute is only presentation from the first session about all of the practical and technical writing, but the second one is confidential. It's only for the reviewers and also for the authors. So please keep it between the committee and Professor Atoum only. So since we come to the end of our session today, I would like to invite the committee to share the certificate of appreciation to Professor Atoum.
Oh,
so
thank you
all of the participants, could you please give a big hand to Professor Atoum?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me have a picture with you guys.
Yeah, really? Sure. That's what we are talking about. So committee, can you please help? Professor Atoum will stay with us. So if that's okay with you, we will have a screenshot or photo session.
Okay. I'm so happy to be with you guys, really.
Yes. Okay. Oh, thank you.
And hopefully one day we will meet in Indonesia and we will have more collaboration. Actually, we are looking our journal to be Q2 and hopefully within months it will be Q2. We are 45%, so we are looking to move it 50%. Move to 50%, it will be Q2. We are looking for that. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Really, I'm
Okay.
so happy. I'm so glad to be with you guys.
Thank
And thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Right,
See you
okay.
again.
So, Professor Atoum, would you like to stay for a while? Because the committee is going to invite you to a break room because they want to have some words for you, if that's okay with you.
Thank you. Sure, sure.
All right. Okay, so the committee, please. Thank you once again. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Professor
very
Atoum.
much. Thank
The
you very much.
pleasure is really ours.
Thank you very much.